Imagine a world where vast, uncharted lands stretch as far as the eye can see, where nomadic tribes roam freely under an endless sky. The year is 1206, and a man named Temujin has just unified the Mongol tribes. Soon, he will be known to history as Genghis Khan, the founder of the Mongol Empire, the largest contiguous empire the world has ever seen. But this empire wasn't built on conquest alone. There was something else, something even more vital, that fueled the rise of the Mongols. That something was trade. Trade was the lifeblood of the Mongol Empire, a force that not only sustained their vast territories, but also connected the East and West in ways that had never been imagined. But why was it so important? Why did these fierce warriors known for their brutal conquests place such emphasis on trade? Today, we'll journey back in time, deep into the heart of the Mongol Empire, to uncover the secrets of their success. To understand why trade was so important to the Mongols, we need to go back to their roots. The Mongols were nomads, living in the harsh, unforgiving steppes of Central Asia. Life on the steppe was tough, brutal winters, scorching summers, and a landscape that offered little in the way of resources. But the Mongols were resilient, resourceful, and above all, adaptable. They relied on their herds for survival. Horses, sheep, goats, and camels provided food, clothing, and transportation. Yet there were things the steppe couldn't provide, luxuries like silk, spices, and fine weapons. To obtain these, the Mongols turned to trade. But trade wasn't just about acquiring goods. It was about building relationships, forging alliances, and creating networks that would eventually span continents. For the Mongols, trade was a necessity, a way of life that shaped their identity long before they became empire builders. But how did these nomads, known for their warrior culture, become so adept at trade? The answer lies in the secret negotiations that took place around campfires, in tents, and on the move. The Mongols were masters of diplomacy, often negotiating trade agreements before they ever drew their bows in battle. These early negotiations were crucial. They laid the groundwork for what would later become a vast trade network that connected the East and West. When Genghis Khan set out to conquer the world, he wasn't just looking for glory. He was looking for trade routes. The Silk Road, the ancient network of trade routes that connected China to the Mediterranean, was the key to the Mongol Empire's success. Genghis Khan understood that control of these routes meant control of the flow of goods, wealth, and information. And so, with each new conquest, the Mongols secured more and more of these vital trade routes. But it wasn't just about controlling the routes. It was about ensuring their safety. The Mongols were ruthless in their protection of trade. They established a system known as the Pax Mongolica, a period of peace and stability across their empire that allowed trade to flourish. Merchants could travel from one end of the empire to the other without fear of bandits or hostile forces. The Mongols even issued passports, known as paisas, to protect merchants and ensure their safe passage. But here's the question: what was the true extent of the wealth that flowed through the Mongol Empire? Historians can only speculate, but some accounts suggest that the riches of the empire were beyond imagination. Gold, silver, silk, and spices poured into the empire's coffers, but there were also other, more intangible forms of wealth: knowledge, technology, and culture. One of the most fascinating aspects of Mongol trade was the cultural exchange it facilitated. As goods moved along the Silk Road, so did ideas, technologies, and even religions. The Mongols were surprisingly open-minded, especially considering their reputation as fierce conquerors. They welcomed scholars, artisans, and religious leaders from all over the world to their court, eager to learn and to incorporate new ideas into their empire. This openness led to an unprecedented exchange of knowledge between East and West. Chinese inventions like gunpowder and the compass made their way to Europe, while Persian and Arab innovations in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine traveled eastward. The Mongol Empire became a melting pot of cultures, where different peoples and ideas came together in a way that had never been seen before. But what about the technologies that were lost? The Mongols were known to destroy entire cities, wiping out not only the population, but also the knowledge and technologies they possessed. What secrets were lost in the fires of destruction? What innovations might have changed the course of history if only they had survived? Trade wasn't just an economic activity for the Mongols, it was a tool of political power. By controlling trade routes, the Mongols could influence the economies of entire regions. They could impose taxes, dictate terms of trade, and even use trade as a means of diplomacy. The Mongols were known to use trade to forge alliances, offering valuable goods in exchange for loyalty or neutrality. This strategy was particularly effective in their dealings with the great civilizations of the time, such as the Chinese, Persians, and Europeans. By leveraging trade, the Mongols were able to maintain control over vast territories without the need for constant military intervention. Trade allowed them to project power across great distances, extending their influence far beyond the reach of their armies. But this power came with a price. The Mongol Empire was a vast, complex system held together by the delicate balance of trade, diplomacy, and military might. What would happen if that balance were disrupted? The answer is a tale of intrigue, betrayal, and the eventual decline of the empire, a story that we will unravel in the next part of our journey. As with all great empires, the Mongol Empire eventually began to decline. The reasons for this decline are many: succession struggles, internal conflicts, and the sheer size of the empire made it difficult to govern. But one of the key factors in the decline was the disruption of trade. The Black Death, the devastating plague that swept across Asia and Europe in the 14th century, had a profound impact on the Mongol Empire. The plague not only decimated the population, but also disrupted trade routes, causing economic instability throughout the empire. As trade declined, so too did the wealth and power of the Mongols. But the decline of the empire didn't mean the end of Mongol influence. The trade networks they established continued to function long after the empire itself had faded into history. The legacy of Mongol trade can still be seen today in the connections between East and West, in the exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures that continue to shape our world. But what is the true legacy of the Mongols? Is it their conquests, their brutal efficiency in battle, or is it something deeper? Perhaps the real legacy of the Mongols is their role as connectors of worlds, as the creators of a global network that brought the East and West closer together. Their empire may have crumbled, but the impact of their trade networks is still felt today. So, what can we learn from the Mongols? What lessons can we take from their rise and fall, from their mastery of trade and their ability to adapt? One of the most important lessons is the power of connection. The Mongols understood that trade wasn't just about goods, it was about people, ideas, and relationships. In today's world, where globalization has connected us more than ever before, the lessons of the Mongols are more relevant than ever. We can also learn from their adaptability, their ability to thrive in harsh environments, and to turn challenges into opportunities. The Mongols were masters of improvisation, constantly finding new ways to overcome obstacles and to achieve their goals. In a world that is constantly changing, the ability to adapt is crucial to success. But what about the secrets that remain untold? The mysteries of the Mongol Empire that have yet to be uncovered? There are still many unanswered questions about the Mongols, about their true intentions, their hidden motives, and the full extent of their influence. As historians continue to study this enigmatic empire, new discoveries are being made all the time. Who knows what secrets are still waiting to be revealed? And that brings us to the end of our journey. For now, the story of the Mongols is far from over, and there is still much to learn about this fascinating empire. If you've enjoyed this exploration into the world of the Mongols, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join our community of history enthusiasts. I upload one video a week, every Saturday, where we dive into the past, uncovering the mysteries and stories that still captivate us today. Until next time, keep searching, keep wondering, and remember, history is full of secrets just waiting to be uncovered.